Hello, everyone. Welcome to Self Love You. Welcome to my channel. Can everyone hear me? So, I'm doing a live stream today. Today, I want to talk about competitive friends. Competitive friends. And I'm here at an open house. So, if someone comes in, I might have to go. If I have to go, then I'll just come back. But I want to talk about the prevalence of competitive friends, people that compete with you who are supposed to be your friend. And I really tried not to, I didn't really notice this was happening. But then whenever I started noticing it, I started picking up on it and I started setting boundaries and recognizing when people were being competitive with me. So, competitive friends is a major problem. If someone is competitive with you, they can't be a real friend. And it causes so much confusion in your life. It's like your mind starts doing this, twisted backflips. You're like, did you start, if you have somebody who is allowed to be competitive with you in your life, then you're going to have to be a people pleaser and you're going to be playing a role. So it becomes very important to nip that in the bud. And the way you nip competition from friends in the bud is through setting boundaries. So if you want to set boundaries, the first thing you have to do is be aware. You guys, do I have too much of an echo? Because if I do, I can fix it. I can just move out there or something. So I'm at an open house today. But anyway, okay, if you have competitive friends, you've got to set boundaries because a friend who's competing with you, and this could be your family member, this could be a sister, this could be a brother, this doesn't have to be a friend per se. But if someone is competing with you, then this is not love, this is not okay, and this can cause you, if you are a recovering people pleaser, this can cause you to change your whole personality in order to suit their agenda. So if someone's being competitive, this person will make little backhanded compliments, backhanded comments about, things that you're doing in your life, or they may come out and, you know, tell you that, you know, make fun of little parts of you, nitpick you, or bring up things that are not something you want to talk about, which really just digs at you. So someone who's being super competitive is going to be digging at you. And if someone's digging at you, then that's going to harm you in the long run. That's going to make you feel like crap. So it's very important to stop this. If you see that someone's being competitive with you, you don't want to engage in that conversation. So for so many years, when I was faced with competition, when I was faced with somebody being competitive, I would I would be like, I would either be competitive back, like, oh no, I did this, okay, let's just talk about, like, if you're saying I'm going hiking, okay, and you're like, I'm going hiking today, and they're like, oh, I went hiking last week, and I hiked, the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest, and we did it in one day, and you're like, okay, but you don't realize that the competition is on. And so you end up being pulled into this situation where you're not just sharing and communicating friend to friend. You're actually um, sparring. It's like a pinochle. It's like this kind of friendship. Who wants that? That's not a fun, fulfilling friendship. It's better not to have that friend at all. It's better to talk to no one than to talk to someone who is competing with you. And you have to get a feel for it because for me, this has been my whole life. I've had people around me who tended to be very competitive, okay? Very competitive. And I, was playing this whole one-upping, and I would be like, okay, I'll play the one down role. I didn't know there were roles. So I was just kind of blindly doing these things, not even realizing that people are playing different roles and that I was going one down and I was being the victim, but I didn't even know I was being victimized because there's games people play. And if you don't know the game, then you're going to get sucked up by it. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Thank you. Aw, that's so sweet. I work hard, you guys, trying to keep my looks intact. Um, so yeah, you can have competitive friends. You can have friends that, you know, are not on your side, but actually comparing themselves to you. And maybe they're shallow, maybe they feel insecure, but they are comparing themselves to you, and you're the one who's taking the brunt of the pain. You're the one who's taking the brunt of the issue. And so I really didn't prepare this speech. I mean, this is something I'm personally dealing with, and it's something I'm overcoming. I like to talk about things that I've already overcame before. And once you start recognizing this competitive vibe, you can disengage from the conversation, or you can just go, that's cool. That's great. And then you're not drawn into it. You're not reacting to the competition. You're not trying to play a role or any of that. So, you guys, I haven't been on this channel in forever. I have been so busy. Y'all know that I went to prison for January 6th. And if you don't know, now you know. And I have been super duper busy. I had to, go to prison for 60 days for protesting, and I was all over the media, all over the news, and it really took the wind out of my sails. I have been really working hard behind the scenes on a lot of stuff, and I have probably 100 videos to share with this channel. But I've just felt so uncomfortable because of the smear campaigns, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And so it's really put a wrench in my life because I loved doing this, and I still love to heal, and I always am healing. Hi. So this channel, so what I'm doing is I have this channel, which is already off and running. And then I'm going to be talking about things like competitive friends and building strong relationships and loving yourself and healing and moving beyond. And also just learning how to communicate and have strong relationships. Sometimes I don't feel worthy to talk about those things because I'm not all perfect. I'm just trying to find my own way after having gone through, childhood trauma and things, and being a recovering people pleaser myself. So it's hard. It's hard to come up here and talk when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm still dealing with my own mess, but I do the best I can. Um, so anyway, I have a new channel too, and it's called The Jenna Ryan Show. And on that channel, I'm going to be talking about, it's on YouTube. I'm going to be talking about uh, politics, entertainment, culture, more broad stuff, so that because my name was getting out, and I was on TikTok at Real Jenna Ryan, and I was getting millions of views on there, and I was like, well, what if I could do podcasting full time and not have to be at an open house? No, I'm kidding. I love doing open houses. So anyway, why? Disengage from those people. So if you have people in your life who are competitive, I just think it's important to not get sucked in. They're like, oh, the people who are competitive, it's like they're monitoring you. They're monitoring your success. They're monitoring how you decorate your house. They're monitoring how you dress. They're monitoring who you're dating. They're monitoring what you're doing, and they're not focused on themselves. And then they come in, and if you're not boundaried, if you don't know who you are, and if you don't have a strong enough sense of self, then you might be compelled to go into the position of, either denigrating yourself or boosting them up or competing back. And if you're competing with someone, that's very draining on your energy. And you really have to watch out where your energy goes. You want to make sure your energy is used for yourself, not for someone else's insecurities about your success or your failure or whatever. Someone wants to be competitive with you today, well, that's their business. They need to go do that with somebody else, and you're not available for competition. And so the first thing in having competitive friends is recognizing it when it happens. Just go, okay, this is competitive. Okay, and then you can release. The first Your first inclination is to be competitive back and say, you know, it's really difficult. And so you don't want to be competitive back. You just want to be like, I don't have time for this. And then maybe you can lead the conversation down a better path than competing. Or you can say, wow, really? That's great. I'm glad you did that. And then just talk to someone else or do something else with your energy. Because competition is envy and it's jealousy and it's a waste of your time. It's the way that people who don't feel good about themselves come and harvest your energy. They don't feel good about themselves, so they're going to talk about you. They're going to talk about your accomplishments, but they don't come out and directly start going, about your accomplishments. It's all so covert. They figure out what you're doing. Like if you're going to decorate your house, they figure out what you're doing. And when they find out what you're doing, then they go, oh, well, you should do this and you should do that. And that puts you in this one down role where they're your advisor. And you don't really need an advisor in this life. You're fine by yourself. You're fine to make your own decisions. Hello, everyone. We're at the Capitol. Hello from South Dakota. So I'm Jenna Ryan. I am a social media influencer. Awesome. DC, panic in DC. It's about to change over there. Lots of things are happening with the new election. So I've just been doing a lot of things other than self-love you. I mean, I take some time to heal. You know what I've been using a lot is I've been using Chat GPT. Have y'all ever used that for like your questions? I'm glad it's over too. So what I do is if I have a friend or if I have someone in my life who says something that I just kind of feel like, what was that? That something feels off about that. So I go into Chat GPT and I go, hey, what is this? And it'll tell you. It'll write you a whole list of what it is. It'll be like, that's competitive, that's envious, and that's insecurity. And that's like some validation. So it's the AI that's helping me to make some major decisions and do some big time growth, you know? So if you want to know more about my J6 experience, then I'll be sharing. I need to make a J6 channel, don't I? Well, it's still so taboo to talk about right now. It's still culturally taboo. But I think President Trump is going to be giving us a pardon because I was a nonviolent. So I think they're going to start with the nonviolent people, just the protesters. And then after that, they're going to probably pardon everyone else. Meanwhile, I was getting millions of views on TikTok, and I was like, just one TikTok got 2.7 million views in one day. And then I started getting all these views. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just do TikToking. Just do podcasting. Chill out, Turbine. Are you being competitive? Who's Turbine? So who cares? Yeah. Well, lots of people care. There are a lot of people that care about me because I'm a valuable human being. And I've been contributing to this channel for a long time. Thank you. I've been contributing for free for all these years. And so many people write me and say, you've really helped me in my healing journey. And so that's who cares about me. There are people that care about me, and I'm very glad. And I always give really good information. I always really bring it, and I don't waste time, and I don't jibber jabber. I'm jibber jabbering right now, but normally I don't do this. I have an open house right now. And, but I did want y'all to know about my channel, and I wanted y'all to know it's Jenna Ryan. I have several channels, but it's the Jenna Ryan Show. I think I have 500 subscribers right now. I want to hit 100,000 over there. It's going to be like Diddy, J-Lo, Epstein, Trump, the deep state, all these things that are very popular right now to talk about. That's what I'm going to be talking about over there. And hopefully I can grow. But then I'm going to filter in, like on the channel, I want the stuff that I teach about, motivation and, setting goals and achieving your goals. I want to be an inspiration to people. So somehow I have to incorporate all of these things into my podcast, which is what I'm doing. So I did a podcast last weekend with some therapists, okay? And these therapists, they asked me my story, and I told them my story, and one of them was in tears. She was like, she had tears in her eyes. I was like, wow. Because I told her about my healing. She was in tears, and she was like, she basically said, if I went through what you went through, I wouldn't be here. I was like, gee, that's great to hear from a therapist. It's like, okay, I just had no choice. I had to keep going. So that's happening, and that's exciting. My social media career, or what do you call it, media. So I'm going to be doing the podcast. And then so I don't know how I can filter in self-love. Like, the reason I don't do a lot of self-love you videos is because they're so personal. Like, I pour my heart and soul in some of these audios and videos. I mean, I'm like, it's pretty difficult. It's difficult work. And I pour my heart and soul, and I'm so afraid, what if the media gets this? What if somebody gets this, So it's my own fears that I really should probably overcome and somehow just incorporate it all. But if you are someone who likes my content, I'm going to be doing, like, every day on TikTok, I've been getting ready. So I literally, okay. So after I started getting I got, like, one video got 2.7 million views, and then another one got 200,000 views, and then another one I was like, dang, okay, maybe I should try this. And so I started getting ready on lives it's Real Jenna Ryan on TikTok. Okay. Real Jenna Ryan. I have about 28,000 followers right now on there. And I just started getting ready every day. And it's about 1 hour. And I just talk, and then people come on there, and you can talk to me as I'm getting ready. But I just did that because I was like, okay, I'm forcing myself to come on here every day since it's slower time of year for real estate. So I've been doing that, and that has been wonderful. If you've been watching, thank you. I'm so glad that I helped you heal from a breakup. Thank you. Mwah. You're so sweet, Mark. Thank you so much. You guys, that means so much to me. I've really poured out a lot into this community, and y'all have helped me through some rough times that, people would listen to me when I felt like I was at my lowest, and I would just share what I was going through, and then people would respond, and it really made me feel good. And so I'm still doing all that, still healing every single day. So last weekend, I did this podcast with these two therapists, and I'll post that as soon as I get it. It was good. Like, it was bad to the bone good. So I think somehow I want to incorporate mental health in with the national dialogue, how all these changes are happening in our nation, and that will ripple into the world. And I want to talk about self-love, and I want to talk about having a sense of self, and I want to talk about consciousness, and I want to talk about healing families, and I want mental health to be integrated in our everyday society. And they're doing all this work, like with JFK coming in and, fixing our food. But nobody's really talking about the mind. And really, isn't that where it starts? I mean, it starts with the heart, with your relationship with God. And then from there, we really need to understand humanity because so many people don't understand humanity. They don't understand what's going on and they don't understand how to have civil conversations. And so I want to do some of that. I want to talk about that, but that's later on, but not right now. Right now, I'm just going to grow my little channel over there at Jenna Ryan Show, and I'm going to grow it, and I'm going to talk about cutting edge information. And then I love self-love, and I love my self-love channel. I just love it. It's just a wonderful thing. And so I'm going to be coming on. Normally I'm more prepared, but I just happened to be at an open house and I was like, you know what? I want to go live. And my journal's not with me, so I can't share what's in there. And you know, with this channel, everything comes so much from my heart. It has to be like so on the tip of my tongue for it to flow properly. And if I'm not, you know, right in the middle of battling it out with someone, then sometimes I might not be able to, it doesn't flow as well. You know what I mean? Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that I've helped you. Do you guys have anything that you want to talk about? When it's time to set boundaries. Yeah, I mean, when it's time to set boundaries, what I've learned, and I want to do a whole video on this, but what I've learned is that you need boundaries like out the wazoo. I thought that boundaries were just like, oh, you need to set a boundary. Oh, no, you need to set a boundary around every single aspect. Every moment that you're talking to another person needs to be boundaried. Like you don't want to have a conversation without some sort of boundary of here's who I am, here's what I expect, here's what I need. You don't need to tell them, but you need to have a concept of that in every moment of your life. So boundaries are not something that you just sometimes have, that you sometimes you know, erect. A boundary is something you need 24 hours a day. You have to live within a boundary. And that's how it has to be. Like, if you don't do this, we don't talk. If you're talking like, and you don't have to say that. You don't have to go, oh, we're not going to talk because of this. You just kind of don't engage. You become very aloof if the conversation goes into a realm that you don't want to go into, or you set a firm boundary, or you laugh it off and set a nice boundary. There's all sorts of boundaries that you can set up. And so, yeah, that was another video within a video. So that's what I wanted to say today. If you guys don't have anything you want to talk about, I have a bunch of I want to say about competitive friends. I just don't have it in front of me, and I'm kind of like, ah. But I want to tell y'all to come to my new channel, and I want to tell y'all that to come follow me on TikTok. That's what I have to say. So y'all have a blessed day. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.